seeing people say that I'm doing this for attention or I'm making this up has got me so livid. I can't even put it into words. I'm so angry over this.
So it is now day number 6 of Mascara Gate. Michaela is nowhere to be found on social media. Her L'Oreal TikTok is still up with over 43 million views. And I honestly have no clue what Michaela's next step is going to be and how she's going to come back from this, but I can tell you this. The TikTok algorithm is algorithming so much today because I have seen this TikTok from Cody so many times that's uploaded on Michaela's channel.
Okay. Tell me your girl wears false lashes without telling me your girl wears false lashes.
I guess that there was some challenge going around on TikTok where it was like, tell me someone does something without telling me they do this. And Cody, of course, did one for Michaela where it was, tell me your fiance wears fake lashes without telling me your fiance wears fake lashes. And there are so many pairs of fake lashes around Michaela's home. This was posted like around the 12th of January, I believe. So it is just in time for Mascara Gate, but TikTok is so shady with the way that the algorithm does its creators. But to be completely honest, I thank the algorithm over there on TikTok because there are times where I will interact with something and I want the rest of the story and I'll just be watching TikTok like 5 days later and then holy shit, there's the answer to that story and my mind is refreshed completely. Speaking of holy shit, did anybody have down on their bingo card Jeffree Star coming back in 2023 and reviving his space within the beauty community? Because that seems to be exactly what is happening. Ever since Jeffree Star uploaded his review of the L'Oreal mascara and said what he was gonna say about Michaela, it seems that everybody over on TikTok, at least from my feed, from what I am seeing, is talking about Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star has shaken up the internet once again. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people out there that are very upset about that. I feel like a lot of people that are like getting back into Jeffree over on TikTok haven't really been around on the YouTube. But Jeffree has everyone talking over there, so I really feel like Jeffree's gonna stay on TikTok and not even really around with YouTube unless he has a launch coming.
Jeffree Star says, goodbye LA, time to spend time with my NFL boo in Wyoming. Who could it be? He's wearing Vans. There ain't that many white NFL players that wear Vans. So we're down to like 15 options. I'd do the digging myself, but I don't know if I want to.
A lot of people think that Jeffree Star's NFL boo could be Carl Nassib. In case you don't know, Carl is the first NFL player to come out as openly gay. But I think he has a boyfriend. A few weeks ago, it was reported that Carl is dating an Olympic swimmer. His name is Soren Dahl. Carl has also posted him on his Instagram before, and Soren posted this picture with Carl on January 2nd. It's still up on his Instagram page. So I believe these two are still together. I don't think Carl is Jeffree's NFL boo.
So the internet is still trying to figure out who Jeffree Star is dating in the NFL. Is it a player? Is it a coach? Is it the water boy? What's going on? Jeffree posted this and said, goodbye LA, time to spend time with my NFL boo in Wyoming, and people were trying to examine the hand and match up the hands. Like, y'all are going full detective on this? Now, I've gotten a few DMs over the past 24 hours about this because y'all know I like to spend some time in Wyoming. And even though there are only about 4 of us gay guys in the entire state, Jeffree and I are not close. I don't have any exclusive tea or gossip, but here's what I think. Jeffree knows Jeffree knows the Super Bowl is coming up and he's very festive. He loves the theme, so he's probably like, let me get an NFL boyfriend in time for the Super Bowl. It's also hilarious seeing the makeup community and NFL community converge and come together to try and figure out who this is. I honestly think it could be Tom Brady because he's recently divorced, single, ready to mingle. Like, he might be having a good time with Jeffree Star in Wyoming. Me personally, I would never date an NFL player. Not that they're knocking on my door, but I would never date a player. I would date like an investor or the owner of the team. I would maybe date a coach. You know what I'm saying? But dating a player never seems like the best idea to me because they have all those injuries. You know they have a shelf life. They always blow through their money. Like, I don't know if I could date a professional athlete. Y'all know I'm a Dallas boy, so if like Jerry Jones wanted to... I can't even go there. I'm done with this shit. Drop some comments and tell me who you think Jeffree is dating if you're familiar with the NFL. I love you guys. Thanks for liking and following. I don't know why Jeffree has a firearm on the counter. Maybe he's expecting Alec Baldwin to stop by. But anyway, goodbye.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I figured out who Jeffree Star's NFL boy toy is. And I say pretty sure because I'm not positive. Like, I don't have any hard proof, just from the evidence we have. So he put this picture up a few hours ago, and it just says he didn't make it to the Super Bowl, and he's 6'6", so we know that. So I got a list of all the NFL players, their teams and heights, and I put it into Excel so I could use it as a table. And if we filter to be only 6'6", and no Kansas City or Philadelphia, we're left with about 130 guys. And so I ended up Googling all these names, and I was pretty much looking for guys that were white and had blonde hair. And that left me with these 13 names. So the next thing to notice here are this guy's ears. They stick out a little bit. So then I went through and I was looking for guys whose ears stuck out. And then it was down to 7. A lot of people have been saying Justin Herbert, but now that I've really been looking at this, I don't think it's him. Mainly if you look at the ears. And then another thing is the guy's head in the photo is pretty long, like he has a long head. And Justin Herbert just has a short head, so I eliminated him. And then I was able to narrow that list of 7 down to 2, the 2 strongest contenders here. On the left, you have Henry Anderson from the Carolina Panthers, and on the right, you have Kyle Rudolph from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now let's really look at these ears. So the one ear over here you can see is kind of square, whereas the other one over here kind of has a point up a little bit, which if you look at this guy, you can see that one ear that's square and then the other one that kind of points over. Here's a final comparison. Another thing to notice is if you look here on his ears, you can't really see that like crease on either ear. And then this guy's ears, you can see that crease back. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this guy. And my favorite part is that this photo I've been comparing was from him when he was on Fox News. Now again, I'm not positive, I'm not making any accusations, this is just from circumstantial evidence, what I've gathered.
Like when I tell you that my feed over on TikTok switched from Michaela Mascaragate to Jeffree Star NFL player, who is this man? Everyone is trying to figure out who Jeffree Star is with, and there have been so many like football players that have been thrown into the ring with all of this. And some of these men have wives at home as well as children. So it's getting a little crazy over there, so I'm not exactly sure like what their DMs or what their comment section are looking like. But underneath Jeffree Star's post where he showed the back of this guy and he's like hugging him in the bathroom, like doing all that kind of stuff, people are zooming in on the ears, you guys. People are zooming in. But I want to read you this one comment because people are really trying to break this down and figure out who Jeffree Star is with in these photos, like down to the color of the jacket, like who's not going to the Super Bowl, what is happening. Someone said, teams with orange in their colors, Browns, Bengals, Broncos, Dolphins, Bears. It's not the Bengals because they were together yesterday and the Bengals played. So that's a red herring and probably why Jeffree is posting this today to throw people off. The Browns colors are brown and orange. Jack Conklin and Ethan Pockett, sorry, I'm probably like butchering that last name, but are the only white 6'6" players on the Browns that also have their hair like that. I'ma check the other teams though. And what is funny about that comment to me is that the wife of Pokic, I'm once again butchering the last name, but her name is Heather. She commented underneath Jeffree's post and said, since apparently my husband's name is on the list of guesses, I'll go ahead and let y'all know Ethan Pokic is married with children and has been with us the entire offseason. And I'm here in the comment section to see who these FBI agents think the player is. Like the fact that his wife is commenting below, but you know, I wonder if she's like on like a troll account and she's commenting some names like it's probably this guy. And then there were also people underneath Jeffree's post thinking that he's kind of like throwing shade at James Charles in a way because you know that James Charles is obsessed with trying to get a DL straight man to be in his DMs and like change him, be the sugar mama, be whatever the hell that James Charles wants to be to those men, the ones that he's like extremely desperate for. Someone said this, I hope one day you actually find true love instead of this social media DL straight boy bullshit. You've been through a lot, you deserve it for yourself, at Jeffree Star. I also saw a lot of people that were saying that Jeffree Star is just doing this for a little bit of publicity right now because the Super Bowl is coming up and that this is probably just a friend or one of his bodyguards that's participating in this photo. But I don't know. A lot of people think that they know exactly what football player this is. I know nothing about football. I'm just gonna be watching the Rihanna concert when it comes to the Super Bowl. I really wish that I was one of those people that liked watching football because I can kind of see why people are intrigued by it, but I'm just not there completely. Moving on from Jeffree, I'm sure that Jaclyn Hill was over there secretly enjoying the fact that Michaela was getting dragged left, right, and center on social media because people weren't really focusing on her. Even though she tried to put on her Instagram story the other night as Michaela was getting dragged, this photo that made it seem like her and Jordan actually eloped. And I don't know if they did or not, but I do know that nobody cared because nobody was talking about that on social media after the fact. This is the first time that I'm actually hearing someone mention it, and it's myself. So Jaclyn, if you were trying to take the attention off of anything, I assure you it did not work because nobody was talking about you. Nobody was paying attention. Jaclyn also could have been trying to take attention off the fact that more documents dropped in the bankruptcy filing. But Jen Loves Reviews put together such a good video about Jaclyn Cosmetics and the fact that Jaclyn Hill is actually lying about the fact that she is the owner and CEO, founder, and all of that of Jaclyn Cosmetics. Like, I'm not even kidding. I took notes from Jen Love's video because there were so many things that I wanted to talk about, just answers that I wanted about Lipstickgate that I honestly thought that we were never gonna receive. Because you know that Jaclyn uploaded her response video where she showed like documents and people like reverse searched them. They were on Google already and you were just getting literal ass from Jaclyn. But let's start with Oxygen Labs because they responded to the whole Forma Morphe filing for bankruptcy thing, and it turns out that Morphe owes them a lot of money. Like, not just like a little bit that Morphe was trying to get away with, saying that they owed them around $10,000. Oxygen Labs was like, oh no girl, let's come back with the calculations. We're gonna file something back with this. And it turns out that they owe about $197,000 and $170,000 worth of that is past purchase orders. So that means it is the freaking lipsticks they owe $170,000 on. So that's giving that once Morphe saw that all these lipsticks were going the route that they were going and that they were not gonna make any money on this, they were like, we're not gonna pay for these. Something that I've always found comical about Jaclyn whenever she talks about Jaclyn Cosmetics or any business that she steals is the fact that she tries to label them as luxury. She's giving you these luxury items for a very affordable price, even though those affordable prices from Jaclyn Hill are honestly asinine for the quality that you actually receive. Just my opinion though, because you know Jaclyn Rhodium Hill, she lives by the motto, I'll pick you clean and turn you green. But let's talk about these dates because honestly, I'm a little shook right now because I know the whole like running joke back in 2019 when Jaclyn was coming out with these lipsticks. I was definitely one of the ones that before launch date was poking fun at Jaclyn on videos saying that these are gonna be expired, they've been sitting on the shelf, all that kind of stuff, there's gonna be mold. So imagine my surprise when that actually happens when they do launch, but everyone thought that those things were sitting on shelves for like years because Jaclyn has been talking about having her own makeup line and doing lipsticks since like 2014. But if you look at these documents that Jen Love showed in her video, it shows that the original order date for these lipsticks was April 2nd, 2019. And Jaclyn released her launch video on May 23rd for these lipsticks, but Oxygen does not have those lipsticks shipped to Jaclyn until May 25th with a launch date of May 30th. So if you go by the timeline that Jen Love's provided in her video, Jaclyn Cosmetics or Oxygen for that matter would have only had 2 to 3 days to actually do quality control on these lipsticks. Clearly they did not. They really fumbled the ball in that sense. But my question is, was the batch that Jaclyn had in her PR video was actually not from the same batch that was being sent out to customers? And is that why Jaclyn was sitting so far back in her launch video for those lipsticks? I cannot be the only one that watched that video and was wondering why Jaclyn Hill was sitting all the way back by the curtains and had her arm out like this. Like, look at the shades, guys. Oh my God, they look so buttery and they're so creamy. No, they're full of lint, bitch. And that's another reason why Jaclyn Hill is being called a liar right now, because Jaclyn literally said all over the internet, as long as she's been talking about this brand, that she is the only investor, this is her money that she's putting into this, and it is a family business.
And this is my brand reveal video because it's my brand and it literally has my name on it. That I am launching a brand that I am so proud to be the owner of, I cannot even begin to tell you. But mom, you create whatever you want. You deserve to have something of your own in this line that people know, like, they are buying into a family business when they purchase from Jaclyn Cosmetics. I want to address some of the issues that my customers are having with my first launch of my brand, Jaclyn Cosmetics, and doing a very in-depth investigation to figure out exactly what's going on so that I can give you the most informed information as a brand owner. I take full responsibility for what happened, you guys. Like, it was my company and it was my name. Yes, I had business partners. It's like I was forced to hire on people. I was forced to get investors just because it's like, whoa, this is snowballing and it's getting so big and it's so exciting, you know?
But girl, let's be honest. You do not have any ownership in Jaclyn Cosmetics. Maybe you did at one point when it was a hope and a dream, but when you started to see all the money that could be flying your way just by slapping your name on some barely above par products, you went with the investors. You went where the money was, and you decided to continue to lie about it because your audience falls for everything that you say, Jaclyn. And what's really scary, Jaclyn, is that you do not have a limit to the lies that you will tell to get one over on your audience or just try to get away from some kind of controversy that you're in.
Okay, so as you know, I posted yesterday, I tweeted, and I also posted it here about me like physically being pulled to a guy's car this weekend. It was extremely scary and extremely traumatizing. Working all day and popping on social media, seeing people say that I'm doing this for attention
or I'm making this up has got me so livid. I can't even put it into words. I'm so angry over this.
In July of 2022, Jaclyn Hill told the most outlandish, disturbing thing that I have ever seen someone say on social media when they want to get away from controversy. The reason that Jaclyn Hill was trying to get attention off of one thing is, one, Jordan was out at the club that night and she was not happy about the fact that people were sending messages and commenting like, ooh, he's out without Jaclyn, what's going on? But also the fact that Jaclyn released a piss poor summer collection that was not inclusive at all. So Jaclyn's answer to getting called out about her shade range is to literally lie about being potentially abducted, which if you follow Jaclyn and you've seen her out in public, Jaclyn Hill always has a bodyguard, but Jaclyn Hill is definitely not going anywhere by herself. So Jaclyn took to her Twitter as well as her Instagram story to say a few things, but what she had to say on Twitter was this: I seriously had one of the scariest experiences of my life last night. Two guys were literally trying to physically pull me into their car while I was alone outside. Thank you, Jesus, that I'm okay, but that was so traumatizing. I'm gonna tell you guys what happened in detail later today on my Instagram story, so hopefully it never happens to you. I'm still so shook up right now, and it's bullshit that women have to be scared of these things. And then of course, because nobody was believing Jaclyn because the circumstances were a little bit fishy, considering she was getting dragged left and right over the shade range of her summer collection, she said the following: the fact people are accusing me of lying about what happened to me this weekend is absolutely disgusting. You are the reason why so many people don't speak up about things that happen to them. And that to me, when Jaclyn said you are the reason that people don't speak up about certain things that happen to them, is Jaclyn finding it out as to why she never had to talk about this on social media again. Because if you think that Jaclyn actually took the time with her millions of followers to speak on something that is a very serious topic, especially in Florida, there is abductions happening left and right, and the fact that Jaclyn, somebody with millions upon millions of eyes on her, she says that 8 million people are watching her every day, which is literally another lie, girl. That's just your follower account. That literally has nothing to do with how many eyes are on you. So let's say maybe like 500,000 people are actually watching you, Jaclyn, just judging off your views from your YouTube channel. Somebody with all of those followers, all of those eyes on them, would go to the media, would go to the news, especially Jaclyn Hill, who was getting dragged over the piss poor launch that she just had. Somebody who loves their name in the lights, somebody who likes all the attention on them. You think that Jaclyn Hill would not go to the media and sit down and give her best performance that we have ever seen so people would get off of her back and so she could victimize herself a little bit more and get that attention just to roll it into the next launch? You're crazy if you don't think that Jaclyn Hill would do that. So Jaclyn, of course, has decided to sweep that whole incident under the rug. It doesn't matter that these two men allegedly tried to kidnap her. It doesn't matter that there are criminals out on the street that are doing this to people. Jaclyn's okay. So Jaclyn got away from the controversy around her launch. She's not going to say anything else. I hope those two men that tried to allegedly abduct her aren't out there still trying to abduct people, Jaclyn. And to be completely honest, I hope that I'm right about Jaclyn Hill lying about potentially being abducted just for the sheer fact that nobody deserves to go through that at all in their life. But if I'm not wrong, then I hope that Jaclyn Hill actually does take the time to sit down and detail everything for everyone that happened about that situation, considering to her 8 million people, the 8 million eyes that are on her, she really had everybody worried about her. She had literally everybody shocked and concerned. So the fact that she would just like sweep it under the rug and just move on with her day as if nothing happened under the guise of, it was so traumatizing, you guys. That's right, it was traumatizing, even for your audience that you're playing on their heartstrings. So if you're not lying, Jaclyn, you should really take the opportunity to bring some awareness to something as serious as human trafficking and the fact that it can literally happen to anyone at any time. But something tells me that that's probably not going to be a story or just anything that you do in the near future. So with all that said, everyone, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please let me know all of your thoughts down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.